let's start with ONeil Cruz, his injury, the Pittsburgh Pirates losing their star or one of their stars, and the Chicago White Sox getting to a little bit of beef. It was like a little bit of throwback to the AJ Pierzynski days with the White Sox and the Pirates on a really awkward slide from ONeil.
I don't think we ever got in a fight with the Pirates. We used to just love to play the Pirates.
You barely played the Pirates.
I know. When you did, you're like, hopefully we win 2 out of 3.
So if you're on YouTube with us, Podcast Crowd will describe it. That maybe AJ can do the description for us. Jason Mackey, who covers the Pirates every day, said, did ONeil Cruz have a lane here? An ugly play. Doesn't matter at this point. Just hope Cruz is okay. And I can tell you that was before we found out fractured ankle. He's out for 10 to 12 weeks. So how would you describe the slide that came in from ONeil Cruz?
Well, we had Buster Posey on last week, right?
Yep.
And this is a direct correlation to that rule that they changed because of the time when he got hurt. ONeil Cruz didn't know what to do. He didn't know how to slide. He didn't know what Seby Zavala was doing because the throw was kind of up and to his right, so he jumped for it, and when he came down, ONeil Cruz didn't know what to do. Now, the on-deck hitter needs to be back there and tell him, like, slide, get down, whatever. You got to get back there quickly. I thought it was – everyone's saying it was a dirty play. It was not a dirty play by anybody. It was just an awkward play because ONeil Cruz didn't know what the heck he was doing, and we made all these rules where you can't touch the catcher and you can't touch the second baseman, you can't do this, you can't do that. Like, let's let ONeil Cruz take a freaking shot at Seby Zavala and see what happens. Like, he crushes him right there.
He would have laid him out.
He laid him out. But you know what? That's part of your job as a catcher. You get laid out, you get up, live to fight another day. But it was just because of the rule. It was just an awkward situation. And he didn't know the throw was coming because it was coming from the third baseman. If you watch him, he tried to run inside the line to kind of get in Zavala's way, which is the right play. But then no one was telling him where to slide or what to do. And he tried to slide kind of at the end. And then, unfortunately, he got hurt, which is the worst part of this whole thing. But then they played the feud, which I like.
Well, what do you think, Kratzy, first off, about someone like him? And he's a big dude coming in to slide like that. Can he just truck stick him next time?
I mean, he can because he's in the way. Technically, it's not high school. The rule is you just aren't allowed to deviate your path to take the catcher out. Obviously, it is a gray area. And I think we had a play in the Braves game where I'm not sure who it was. Odor, that's right. Thank you. Yeah, it was Odor. Just ran right through home plate. Now, he collided with d'Arnaud, but the ball came out. If Cruz does that right there, if he runs through home plate and he takes Zavala out, like I don't know if he lives. 2, Cruz might stay healthy, and 3, the ball might come out too. So if he's in the lane, you're allowed to run through him. Unfortunately, he picked like the run through. Oh crap, he's here, and that's where I think that ankle got twisted up. And Zavala in the moment, I think he was angry. I saw post game, it was kind of like in the moment he was pissed, and that's where the whole bench clearing came when Kopech and Santana got into it a little bit. But I just think it's something. Sounds so dumb that Major League Baseball players have to work on sliding, but every single spring training that I went to, we worked on sliding, and you have to think about it, because if he doesn't make that decision in enough time, bad stuff can happen. It could have happened to Seby too. Seby could have gotten hurt on that play also, but luckily, he didn't.
I think they nailed it. I think both of them called out. It's the indecision that he had. He looked like he was gonna slide the whole way, and then that ball kind of surprised him, and he tried to stand up at the last second, but all of his momentum, he couldn't stop, so he was too close, and just was an awkward movement that he made right into the catcher. He kind of couldn't get out of the way in time. So it was just indecision on his part, and AJ's right. He didn't have the teammate behind him telling him what to do, behind the catcher.
Zavala was pissed. He was pissed.
He was pissed. I don't think he realized.
No, he was. Listen, as a catcher, I think Kratz agrees. When you get hit, you're pissed at first. You get up, you're pissed. I mean, there's no like, it's okay. It's part of your job, but when you get hit, there's that adrenaline that goes, right? You're like, yeah, son of a bitch, let's go, right? And then he realized he was hurt. But the thing was, Carlos Santana was standing right there, so Zavala clearly said something to ONeil Cruz as he was on the ground. I mean, you could tell he was hurt. But Zavala didn't know that, but he said something. I don't know what he said. No, we'll never probably ever find out. And then you see Kopech get pissed, and you see that's when and the whole time the trainer is laying on the ground with ONeil Cruz, and they're
he was kind of protecting him in a good
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
Like, no, you don't want anyone like running around and
Yeah.
falling back on him, stepping on him.
Yeah, but I was okay with every part of that play was fine except for ONeil Cruz getting hurt. That was the terrible part. But we need more of this. We need more like let's push each other around. Let's get into a shoving match every once in a while. It's okay. The worst thing in the world.
When you get hit at the plate, it's like banging your head. Like if you're like getting something out of a cabinet and you leave the cabinet open and you bang your head, that anger that you feel is the exact. When I bang my head on something and I didn't realize it, that's the same anger when somebody hits you. Your first instinct is not like, oh, hey, how you doing? Like as you're like looking at the guy on the ground. No, you're like, it just, even though you expect it, it just, like AJ said, it just boils up. It's like,